Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You are standing in a room with nothing. No money, no connections, no legacy, no handouts, just the cold, empty walls of your reality staring back at you. The world tells you to stay small, to accept your place, to settle. And for a moment, it seems easier to obey, until you feel that fire in your chest, that restless, gnawing whisper that says, I was not born to live like this. I was born to rise. Every empire, every fortune, every life that changed the course of history began with a single brutal truth. They had nothing. And yet, they refused to let nothing define them. They turned doubt into fuel, failure into lessons, struggle into strength. They didn't wait for opportunity, they created it. And today, right now, that same power is waiting for you. You can choose to remain a spectator, or you can choose to step into the forge and become unstoppable. Because wealth, real wealth, the kind that reshapes your life and commands respect, is not given. It is seized. It is earned. It is carved from the raw material of discipline, vision, courage, and relentless action. And it starts not in your bank account, not in your environment, not in luck, but in your mind. Open your eyes. This is where everything begins. Not tomorrow. Not when conditions are perfect. Now. Most people don't start life on a mountaintop. They start at the bottom of a cold, silent valley, surrounded by shadows of doubt, debt, fear, and uncertainty. But here's the unfiltered truth. Every empire you admire was built by someone who once stood exactly where you stand now, at nothing. No advantage. No launchpad. No inheritance. No handouts. Just a stubborn mind, a relentless spirit, and a vision burning hot enough to light their path through the darkness. Wealth, real, lasting, undeniable wealth, doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from a perfect childhood, a trust fund, or a golden opportunity dropped from the sky. It comes from a decision that most people never make. A decision to no longer be ruled by circumstance. A decision to stop negotiating with excuses. A decision to rise. If you strip down every millionaire, every builder, every titan who started at zero, you'll find the same blueprint carved into their story. A moment where they refused to let their present situation dictate their future identity. Thomas Edison was called addled by his own teacher. Carnegie worked in a coal mine. Henry Ford failed multiple times before a single engine ever turned profit. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Abraham Lincoln lived through defeat after defeat before ever reaching a seat of power. These weren't men touched by magic. They were men possessed by clarity. Clarity that the world could knock them down but never define them. That's where wealth truly begins. Not in the mind of a privileged man, but in the heart of a hungry one. Every morning you wake up with two choices. Stay the person you were yesterday, or construct the person you were meant to become. And the brutal truth is that most people unconsciously choose the first. They stay enslaved to the patterns that keep them broke. Not financially broke, but mentally broke. Spiritually broke. Vision broke. Potential broke. If you want to create wealth from nothing, then you must understand something deep, almost sacred. Your mind is the factory, your habits are the machines, and your decisions are the workers. When all three operate with discipline, precision, and purpose, wealth becomes inevitable. Not a dream, not a fantasy, not a miracle, inevitable. But let's tear away all illusions right now. Building wealth demands a version of you that does not exist yet. A stronger you, a more disciplined you, clearer you, a you who fights the gravitational pull of your old identity until it snaps. Wealth starts with belief, but belief alone is not enough. Belief is only the spark, discipline is the fuel, and action is the engine. You must be willing to do the work no one sees, to train the mind like a soldier trains for war, to win the battles against comfort, laziness, distraction, and doubt long before the world sees your results. Because here's the truth people avoid. Your life is a mirror. It reflects exactly what you consistently think, feel, and do. If you think small, you live small. If you move with hesitation, your results will be hesitant. If you surround yourself with people who settle, you will settle. If you talk more than you execute, success will treat you like a stranger. Building wealth from nothing demands the courage to confront all the weaknesses you've been avoiding. It demands responsibility, complete, unfiltered, brutal responsibility, the kind that doesn't care whose fault something is because the only thing that matters is what you will do about it. The moment you stop blaming your environment, your past, your parents, your government, your luck, or your timing, that is the moment your life shifts. Clarity begins where excuses end. The mind becomes powerful the moment it takes ownership. If you want wealth, not the illusion of wealth, not the dream of wealth, but the actual, tangible, unshakable reality of wealth, you must first build a mind that refuses to break. A mind that refuses to complain. A mind that refuses to be average. A mind that treats struggle as training and failure as feedback. People think wealth is about money. But wealth begins long before money ever shows up. Wealth begins with identity. Who are you becoming? What standards do you tolerate? What thoughts do you feed? What decisions do you repeat? What discipline do you enforce? You cannot build a wealthy life with a poverty mindset. You cannot create abundance with a spirit addicted to shortcuts. You cannot rise while clinging to the person you used to be. Transformation requires sacrifice, the sacrifice of comfort, of ego, of laziness, of excuses, of all the habits that kept you trapped in the first place. And yes, it will feel like war. But that war is the birthplace of the person who can handle wealth, multiply wealth, protect wealth, and deserve wealth. You're not here to play small. You're not here to repeat the same life year after year. You're here to rise from nothing and create something so powerful it forces the world to take notice. And that rise begins now. You will discover quickly that the journey from nothing is not a straight line. It is a labyrinth of dead ends, false promises, betrayals, and self-doubt. You will encounter people who do not believe in you, and worse, people who are convinced you cannot succeed. They will laugh at your ideas, dismiss your ambitions, and even sabotage your progress. Yet here is the principle that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. What other people think of you is irrelevant. Their doubts are a reflection of their limits, not yours. Your mission is not to gain approval, but to cultivate clarity, mastery, and unwavering commitment to your vision. Vision is the fuel of creation. Without vision, you are like a ship without a rudder, endlessly drifting while the world passes by. Every wealthy individual who began at zero had a vision so vivid it consumed them. Andrew Carnegie envisioned steel that would build nations. Walt Disney imagined worlds that did not exist yet. Lincoln dreamed of a union stronger than the hatred, tearing it apart. Each of them carried their vision like a torch in the darkest night. And that torch was their compass when logic, fear, and circumstance screamed for surrender. But vision alone cannot carry you. You must combine it with absolute clarity of purpose. Purpose is the gravitational center of your life. It aligns every thought, every action, every choice toward one unyielding goal. Without it, talent is wasted, energy is scattered, and dreams dissolve into mere fantasy. Wealth demands that you not only know what you want but also why you want it. If your purpose is shallow, your foundation will crack under pressure. But if your purpose is deep, anchored in conviction, it will withstand every storm. Once you have clarity and purpose, the next step is discipline, the bridge between vision and reality. Discipline is the invisible architect shaping every success story. Henry Ford did not build the automotive empire by wishful thinking. He built it by showing up every day, solving problems, learning from failure, and refusing to quit. Discipline is the quiet, often unseen force that converts effort into results. It is working when no one is watching, studying when you feel tired, pushing through obstacles when you are tempted to retreat. Discipline is what transforms ordinary humans into legends. And then comes action, the crucible where dreams are forged into reality. Thinking alone, hoping alone, planning alone. These are the amusements of the weak. Wealth is created by those who move, by those who execute relentlessly, by those who are willing to risk, fail, adapt, and persist. Every failure is a lesson disguised as pain. Every setback is a teacher that tests your resolve. Edison failed thousands of times before the light bulb glowed. Every time he fell, he got up smarter, sharper, more certain of the formula. Action without learning is reckless. Learning without action is useless. But action guided by persistent learning is unstoppable.